There's a moment every man dreads. You send a message, maybe to someone you're dating, a friend, or even a business contact, and then silence. The minutes stretch into hours, the hours into days, and your mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Did they lose interest? Are they ignoring me on purpose? Should I send another text? This moment of uncertainty is where most men fail. They react emotionally, they double text, they over-explain, they chase after the person who has already chosen to be silent. And that's the mistake, because the moment you start begging for attention, you lose all power, the harsh truth about being ignored. If someone ignores you, it's not random. People prioritize their time. They reply to messages that excite them, intrigue them, or add value to their life. If they're ignoring you, it's for one of three reasons. 1, they don't respect your value. 2, they're testing you to see how you'll react. 3, they're genuinely busy, but if you were important to them, they'd still respond. This is the truth that most men don't want to accept. But the men who do, they become the ones who are respected, admired, and chased, because they never let their emotions control them. The key to power: control over your reactions. In every interaction, the person who is less emotionally invested has the most power. Think about the men who command respect. A Stoic philosopher like Marcus Aurelius didn't beg for validation. He remained calm and focused on his purpose. A business mogul like Elon Musk doesn't send desperate follow-up emails. He lets his work speak for itself. A high-value man in dating never chases a woman who pulls away. He allows her to come back on her own terms, or he moves on. The common trait among all these men: they never beg for attention. They move with confidence, knowing their value. And this is the shift that will change your life when you stop seeking approval and start commanding respect. Why this video matters. This isn't just about texting. This is about how you carry yourself as a man in every aspect of life. If you react desperately to being ignored, you will destroy attraction in relationships, lose credibility in business and networking, get walked over in friendships and social circles. But if you learn to stay composed, control the dynamic, and walk away when necessary, you will become a man people want to hear from. Command respect in conversations, business, and social life. Build a life where you are the one being chased, not the one chasing. And that is what this video will teach you. What you'll learn in this masterclass. By the end of this video, you will understand the biggest mistakes men make when they're ignored and how to avoid them. Why silence is a powerful tool when used correctly. The psychology behind why people ignore messages and how to flip the script communication and influence the exact messages that get responses without looking desperate. When to walk away and why this makes people respect you more. How to build a life that makes you so valuable no one would dare ignore you. And by the end of this, you will walk away with a completely different mindset about communication, attraction, and self-respect. The power of silence, a weapon, not a weakness. Most people think silence is a form of rejection. It's not. Silence is a test. It's a weapon. It's a form of communication. Powerful men don't fill silence with desperate messages. They let the other person feel the absence. The best response to being ignored is not to react emotionally, but to use that silence to your advantage. This is how you create an aura of strength and mystery. This is how you train people to value your presence. This is how you make sure that next time they're the ones waiting for your reply. Why most men fail and how you can win. Most men operate from a place of scarcity. They think, if I don't text again, they'll forget about me. If I don't remind them, they won't care. I need to prove that I'm worth their time. But high-value men operate from a place of abundance. They think, If they're interested, they'll respond. If they don't reply, I'm fine with that. I have other options. I don't chase because I know my worth. This shift in mindset is what separates the men who are ignored from the men who are respected. And by the end of this video, you will be one of the men who commands respect. Before we continue, take a second to level up. If this message is already resonating with you, do 2 quick things before we continue. Like this video. It takes 1 second and helps spread this knowledge to more men who need it. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to master attraction, self-improvement, and power dynamics, this is the place for you. Now that you've done that, let's dive in. The costly errors men make when ignored. Why your reaction to silence defines you. When faced with unanswered messages, many men unknowingly sabotage their own value. They become anxious, overthink the situation, and, worst of all, start chasing. The way you handle being ignored determines whether people see you as someone who commands respect or someone who desperately seeks attention. Let's examine the most damaging mistakes men make when they don't receive a response and why these behaviors only push others further away. The pitfall of sending another message. Too soon. One of the most common and damaging reactions is immediately sending a follow-up message. It often sounds like, "Hey, just making sure you saw my last message. Not sure if you're busy, but I wanted to check in. Everything okay? Haven't heard from you." While these messages may seem harmless, they instantly communicate neediness. People naturally prioritize those they respect and admire. If they haven't responded, sending another message too soon makes it clear that you're waiting for their approval. And the one thing a confident, high-value man never does? Seek approval. Why patience communicates strength. Consider this. Have you ever sent a message to someone you deeply respect, perhaps a successful entrepreneur, a well-known leader, or someone whose time is in high demand? Chances are you didn't expect an immediate reply, and you certainly didn't send another message right away. Why? Because you understood that their time is valuable. You assumed they were handling important matters, and you respected their priorities. Now imagine if you carried yourself with the same confidence and sense of purpose. People would instinctively recognize your value, and instead of you waiting for their response, they would be the ones anticipating yours. The destructive habit of over-explaining and unnecessary apologies, why justifying yourself lowers your value. Another critical mistake men make when faced with silence is feeling the need to explain themselves or apologize for no clear reason. This often takes the form of long, emotional messages like, "I hope I didn't say anything wrong. If I did, I sincerely apologize. I just wanted to clarify what I meant in my last message. I don't know if I upset you, but that wasn't my intention." At first glance, these messages may seem harmless or even polite, but they actually reveal 2 damaging traits. Emotional instability. Men who command respect are not ruled by their emotions. They approach situations with composure and logic, not desperation. Lack of self-assurance. A confident man doesn't feel the need to apologize unless he has actually made a mistake. Seeking reassurance from someone who is ignoring you only weakens your position. A lesson in strength from Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic leaders, embodied the principle of focusing only on what is within your control. If someone failed to respond to him, he wouldn't waste time over-analyzing or seeking explanations. Instead, he would return to his work, concentrate on his responsibilities, and continue living with purpose. His philosophy teaches a powerful lesson. A man who is firm in his mission does not chase approval. He understands that his value is not diminished by someone else's silence. The ability to move forward without seeking validation is what separates respected leaders from those who are easily dismissed. The self-sabotage of emotional reactions. Why lashing out destroys your value. When ignored, some men shift from seeking attention to expressing frustration. Instead of staying composed, they send passive-aggressive messages like, "Wow, I guess you're too busy for me. I see how it is, I won't bother you again. I guess I'm not important enough to get a response." This is one of the worst ways to react because it confirms insecurity and emotional instability. A man who truly respects himself would never send such messages. Why? Because he understands that his worth is not dictated by someone else's response. Would a man of confidence, success, and purpose ever waste time being upset over silence? Absolutely not. He moves forward, focused on those who genuinely appreciate his presence. The trap of changing yourself to get a reply. Another common mistake is adjusting your personality in an attempt to re-engage someone. For example, a man who was initially confident and direct may suddenly shift his approach, becoming overly humorous, excessively nice, or even self-deprecating just to get a response. Backfires because it signals three things. Lack of identity. If you truly know who you are, you don't change to fit someone else's expectations. Need for external approval. Adjusting your behavior to win someone over shows you place their opinion above your own. Weak standards. Lowering yourself for attention diminishes respect and attraction. High-value men never alter their core personality just to please someone else. Instead, they remain firm in their identity and let their absence speak for itself. The importance of knowing when to walk away. Perhaps the biggest mistake men make when ignored is not recognizing when to stop. Chasing after someone who has already chosen to be distant only reinforces the idea that you lack options and self-respect. The most powerful response to silence isn't more words, it's knowing when to leave the conversation entirely. Understanding. Silence. Why people ignore you and how to regain control. The power of walking away. The reality is simple. People who genuinely value you will make an effort to respond. If they don't, it means they are either uninterested, testing you, or they do not respect your presence. The most effective response is not to chase or demand attention, but to step back and let them either return on their own or remove yourself entirely. Knowing when to walk away is one of the most powerful skills a man can develop. It shifts the dynamic, making others realize that your attention is not a given, it must be earned. The psychology behind being ignored. Few things feel more frustrating than being met with silence. But what if being ignored wasn't just a random occurrence? What if it followed predictable psychological patterns? To ensure you never find yourself in this situation again, you must first understand the reasons behind it. Throughout history, men of high status, especially the Stoics, faced similar challenges but responded with composure and strength. Their wisdom holds the key to regaining control in these moments. Why people ignore messages. The deeper meaning. When someone doesn't respond, it's easy to assume they don't care, they're trying to send a message, they've lost interest. But these assumptions stem from emotional thinking. A man who values himself does not jump to conclusions. He evaluates the situation rationally. Silence often falls into one of three categories. You haven't established yourself as a priority in their life. People naturally respond to those they see as significant. If they are not prioritizing you, it's a sign that your presence hasn't made a strong enough impact. They are testing you, whether consciously or unconsciously. Some people ignore messages to see how you will react. Will you become needy and seek their attention, or will you maintain your composure? Your response to silence determines whether you gain or lose respect. they lack the courage to be direct. Instead of openly communicating disinterest, many choose avoidance as an easier option. If someone repeatedly ignores you, take it as a sign that they are unwilling to be upfront. Recognizing which of these applies to your situation allows you to respond wisely, without overreacting, chasing, or compromising your dignity. How Stoic leaders used silence to command power. The wisdom of the Stoics controlling emotions in every situation. Throughout history, the greatest leaders have understood that true power comes not from reacting, but from maintaining composure. The Stoic philosophers, known for their mastery over emotions, provide valuable lessons on how to use silence as a tool of influence rather than a sign of weakness. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who led with composure. As the ruler of the vast Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius had immense authority over millions. Yet despite his power, he lived by a fundamental principle. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This philosophy shaped his approach to handling others. If someone ignored him, he did not seek their validation. If he faced insults or criticism, he remained silent rather than reacting emotionally. If someone attempted to manipulate him, he refused to play into their hands. Marcus understood a fundamental truth. While he could not control the actions of others, he could always control his own response. This is the mindset every man must adopt when faced with silence. The moment you react emotionally, you surrender control of the situation. Instead, remain composed, assess the circumstances objectively, and act with intention. Seneca, mastering the art of emotional detachment. Another great Stoic, Seneca, wrote extensively about maintaining emotional stability in the face of uncertainty. He observed, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Consider what happens when someone doesn't respond to your message. Your mind immediately starts creating worst-case scenarios. You convince yourself that you've lost power. You replay every word you sent, overanalyzing where you might have gone wrong. But none of this is real. It is merely your imagination running wild. Seneca's advice: detach from these emotional reactions and focus only on what is real. When you do this, you'll see that silence is not a personal attack. It is simply an opportunity to regain control by choosing not to engage in self-doubt. The power of silence in influence and respect. Why high-status men use silence to their advantage. Most men fear silence because they associate it with rejection. But men who command respect have learned to use silence as a tool of influence. The difference? The average man panics when ignored. He seeks immediate reassurance, overreacts, and loses credibility. A man of strength remains composed. He understands that silence can be more powerful than words when used strategically. Why silence is often the smartest move. When someone ignores you, often the best response is to do nothing at all. Here's why. It creates intrigue. People start wondering why you haven't reacted, which makes you more memorable. It signals confidence. Emotionally weak men seek instant validation, while strong men remain unfazed. It shifts the power dynamic. Instead of you seeking their attention, they begin thinking about you. By mastering the art of silence, you position yourself as someone who is not desperate for approval, but rather someone whose presence must be earned. The power of absence. Why silence speaks louder than words. Throughout history, the most influential men have understood one simple truth: silence can be more powerful than words. Rather than reacting emotionally or seeking validation, they mastered the art of restraint. By doing so, they maintained control over any situation, influencing others without unnecessary confrontation. This principle, known as the power of absence, is what separates strong, confident men from those who constantly seek attention. Let's explore how legendary figures used silence to command respect and how you can apply the same strategy in your life. How Julius Caesar used silence to establish authority. Julius Caesar, one of Rome's greatest leaders, was known for his strategic thinking and composure. He understood that not every insult or challenge required a response. Sometimes, silence was the most effective way to demonstrate strength. On one occasion, a young senator publicly insulted Caesar, expecting an angry reaction, but instead of engaging in an argument or defending himself, Caesar simply paused, glanced at the senator, and walked away without a word. What was the result? The senator was left embarrassed as his attempt to provoke Caesar failed. The audience saw Caesar's lack of reaction as a sign of wisdom and self-control. The insult lost its power because it was met with indifference. This teaches an important lesson. Your response determines whether you maintain control or give it away. A man who chases after approval or reacts emotionally loses influence. A man who remains calm and unaffected forces others to recognize his strength. How to make someone regret ignoring you. If someone chooses to ignore you, the most effective response is not to beg for their attention, but to make them feel your absence. This is how you shift the power dynamic in your favor. Withdraw your attention completely. People value what they believe they might lose. The more readily available you make yourself, the less others appreciate your presence. So when someone dismisses you, resist the urge to seek an explanation or chase their validation. Instead, take a step back. Stop sending follow-up messages. Refrain from engaging with their social media posts. Avoid trying to justify yourself or reopen the conversation. By doing this, you accomplish two things. One, you remind them that your attention is not something to be taken for granted. Two, you create curiosity, making them wonder why you're unbothered. Psychologically, people are drawn to what seems out of reach. The moment they sense that you are indifferent to their absence, they start questioning their own actions. Shift your focus to your own growth. One of the most attractive traits in a man is a sense of purpose. Instead of dwelling on why someone hasn't responded, channel your energy into your own goals and self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, emphasized this mindset when he wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you allow yourself to be consumed by someone else's silence, you are giving them control over your emotions. But when you focus on your own path, you become a man who is respected, not because you demanded attention, but because you demonstrated that your value is independent of anyone's validation. This is how you regain control. Not by reacting, but by making others realize that your presence is something they should appreciate before it's no longer available to them. The power of presence. How to command respect without chasing attention. Throughout history, the men who commanded the most respect and admiration never begged for attention. Instead, they mastered the art of presence, becoming so valuable, interesting, and self-sufficient that others naturally gravitated toward them. Rather than chasing people who show indifference, the most powerful men focused on their own development, let their actions speak louder than words, and cultivated a life that made others feel privileged to be part of it. Here's how you can do the same. Redirecting your focus. The Stoic approach to strength. The foundation of true confidence lies in controlling what is within your power. Instead of fixating on people who ignore you, focus on personal growth and fulfillment. This is the principle that guided the Stoics, redirecting attention to what truly matters. Ways to strengthen yourself. Instead of seeking validation, invest in your physical health. Commit to a consistent workout routine. Build your financial independence. Develop a business or advance your career. Expand your knowledge, acquire new skills that set you apart. Improve your overall lifestyle, do things that bring you personal satisfaction. The more you invest in yourself, the less you crave approval from others. Ironically, the moment you stop seeking validation is when people begin to notice you more. Embracing indifference. The ultimate power. Move. Men who hold high status live by a simple rule. If you engage with me, great. If not, it makes no difference to me. This level of detachment is what makes them truly powerful. When someone realizes that their absence does not affect you, they lose any influence they once had over you. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously stated, "He who is brave is free." Nothing liberates a man more than the ability to walk away from those who do not appreciate his presence. Strength is found in emotional control, and once you master indifference, you become untouchable. How to communicate with strength without seeming desperate. If you ever wish to reconnect with someone without appearing weak, there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. The wrong approach: seeking validation. Avoid messages that reflect insecurity. Are you ignoring me? Did I do something wrong? I don't understand why you're not responding. These statements project neediness and lower your perceived value. A high-status man never seeks attention, he attracts it naturally. The right approach: confidence and playfulness. When reaching out, your message should reflect confidence, humor, or intrigue. Examples include humorous approach: "I see you've gone into hiding, hope you're safe out there." Challenging approach: "You vanished, still capable of holding a conversation?" High-value approach: "Just got back from an incredible trip, unbelievable stories, let me know if you can handle them." What makes these messages effective? They do not beg for attention. They spark curiosity. They position you as someone worth engaging with. And if the person still does not respond, move forward. Focus on people who recognize your worth instead. How to build a life where people chase you instead of ignoring you. Most men exhaust themselves pursuing people who don't respect their time. Elite men do the opposite. They cultivate a life so compelling that people want to be part of it. How do they accomplish this? By mastering 3 essential traits. 1. Unshakable confidence, the ability to carry oneself with certainty and purpose. 2. A high-value lifestyle, a life filled with achievement, adventure, and influence. 3. Social proof and status, the ability to shape perception and draw people in effortlessly. Let's break these down in detail. 1. Projecting confidence and certainty, like the great Stoic leaders. Confidence is not about arrogance, it's about unwavering belief in yourself. Throughout history, great men like Marcus Aurelius navigated political turmoil and war while maintaining complete composure. No matter the situation, he remained calm and decisive. He once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." To apply this in your own life, have a clear vision for what you want. People respect men with direction. Speak with authority. Never seek permission to be yourself. Move with conviction. Uncertainty repels, but certainty attracts. People naturally follow men who exude confidence and direction. 2. Creating a high-value lifestyle that attracts others. Naturally. One of the easiest ways to make people want to be around you: live an extraordinary life. Men who struggle to get attention often have nothing exciting to offer. Meanwhile, high-value men cultivate lives so intriguing that others want to be part of them. How to build an attractive lifestyle. Master a valuable skill. Develop expertise that sets you apart. Travel and explore the world. Unique experiences make you more interesting. Build strong social connections. Surround yourself with successful, ambitious people. When you create a life filled with purpose and adventure, people stop ignoring you and start competing for your time. 3. Understanding social proof and status. Why some men are magnetic. In every aspect of life, dating, business, friendships, social proof determines status. This is why celebrities attract millions of followers effortlessly. Wealthy men receive endless opportunities. Successful entrepreneurs build powerful connections. It's not just about who you are, but how others perceive you. How to establish social proof. Surround yourself with influential people. Your network defines your status. Document your lifestyle and achievements. People believe what they see. Develop a reputation for excellence. Become known for something valuable. The moment you establish yourself as someone of significance, people will chase you instead of overlooking you. The psychology of influence. Why some men command instant respect. Great leaders, whether Roman emperors or modern-day billionaires, understand that influence isn't about force, it's about perception. When you focus on self-improvement, emotional control, and high-value living, you shift from being someone who seeks approval to someone who naturally commands respect. Master these principles and you'll never have to chase attention again, because the world will start paying attention to you. The psychology of influence. How to command respect and attention. Without seeking it, every great leader, thinker, and strategist throughout history understood one thing: human behavior follows predictable patterns. Some men are naturally listened to, respected, and sought after, while others struggle to be noticed. The difference lies not in luck, but in the mastery of influence. If you understand how people think, you'll never have to chase attention again. Instead, you'll create a presence so compelling that others will instinctively seek your approval, admire your confidence, and desire to be part of your world. In this masterclass, we'll break down the 3 fundamental principles of influence that can change the way people perceive and respond to you. Principle 1. The power of authority. Why people follow those who lead with certainty. People naturally gravitate toward those who exude confidence and control. Whether in politics, business, or social settings, the most influential individuals speak and act with conviction. The difference between authority and weakness. Consider the leadership style of Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman emperors. Despite constant threats of war and betrayal, he never showed uncertainty. He understood that when a man projects confidence, others instinctively believe in him. Now, compare this to men who constantly seek approval, hesitate in their decisions, or downplay their own opinions. Such individuals fail to inspire trust, and as a result, they are ignored. How to apply this to your life? Speak with certainty. Avoid phrases like, "I think," or "I'm not sure." Express yourself with conviction. Stand by your decisions. Indecisiveness weakens authority. When you make a choice, own it. Control your emotions. A man who remains composed even in the face of adversity commands instant respect. People follow confidence, not hesitation. Principle 2, the rule of scarcity. Why people want what they can't have. There's a psychological reason why luxury brands sell out, why rare experiences are more valuable, and why men who are in high demand attract more attention. Scarcity creates desire. How history proves this works. Lucius Sulla, a Roman general, understood this better than anyone. Instead of constantly appearing in public and trying to win favor, he limited his presence. He made himself scarce, speaking only when necessary. As a result, his words carried weight because they were rare. His presence became a privilege rather than an expectation. People admired him even more because he didn't seek their attention. How to apply this to your life. Don't make yourself too available. When people see you too often, they take you for granted. Be selective with your time. People naturally follow men who exude confidence and direction. 2. Creating a high-value lifestyle that attracts others. Naturally. One of the easiest ways to make people want to be around you: live an extraordinary life. Men who struggle to get attention often have nothing exciting to offer. Meanwhile, high-value men cultivate lives so intriguing that others want to be part of them. How to build an attractive lifestyle. Master a valuable skill. Develop expertise that sets you apart. Travel and explore the world. Unique experiences make you more interesting. Build strong social connections. Surround yourself with successful, ambitious people. When you create a life filled with purpose and adventure, people stop ignoring you and start competing for your time. 3. Understanding social proof and status. Why some men are magnetic. In every aspect of life, dating, business, friendships, social proof determines status. This is why celebrities attract millions of followers effortlessly. Wealthy men receive endless opportunities. Successful entrepreneurs build powerful connections. It's not just about who you are, but how others perceive you. How to establish social proof. Surround yourself with influential people. Your network defines your status. Document your lifestyle and achievements. People believe what they see. Develop a reputation for excellence. Become known for something valuable. The moment you establish yourself as someone of significance, people will chase you instead of overlooking you. The psychology of influence. Why some men command instant respect. Great leaders, whether Roman emperors or modern-day billionaires, understand that influence isn't about force, it's about perception. When you focus on self-improvement, emotional control, and high-value living, you shift from being someone who seeks approval to someone who naturally commands respect. Master these principles and you'll never have to chase attention again, because the world will start paying attention to you. The psychology of influence. How to command respect and attention. Without seeking it, every great leader, thinker, and strategist throughout history understood one thing: human behavior follows predictable patterns. Some men are naturally listened to, respected, and sought after, while others struggle to be noticed. The difference lies not in luck, but in the mastery of influence. If you understand how people think, you'll never have to chase attention again. Instead, you'll create a presence so compelling that others will instinctively seek your approval, admire your confidence, and desire to be part of your world. In this masterclass, we'll break down the 3 fundamental principles of influence that can change the way people perceive and respond to you. Principle 1. The power of authority. Why people follow those who lead with certainty. People naturally gravitate toward those who exude confidence and control. Whether in politics, business, or social settings, the most influential individuals speak and act with conviction. The difference between authority and weakness. Consider the leadership style of Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman emperors. Despite constant threats of war and betrayal, he never showed uncertainty. He understood that when a man projects confidence, others instinctively believe in him. Now, compare this to men who constantly seek approval, hesitate in their decisions, or downplay their own opinions. Such individuals fail to inspire trust, and as a result, they are ignored. How to apply this to your life? Speak with certainty. Avoid phrases like, "I think," or "I'm not sure." Express yourself with conviction. Stand by your decisions. Indecisiveness weakens authority. When you make a choice, own it. Control your emotions. A man who remains composed even in the face of adversity commands instant respect. People follow confidence, not hesitation. Principle 2, the rule of scarcity, why people want what they can't have. There's a psychological reason why luxury brands sell out, why rare experiences are more valuable, and why men who are in high demand attract more attention. Scarcity creates desire. How history proves this works. Lucius Sulla, a Roman general, understood this better than anyone. Instead of constantly appearing in public and trying to win favor, he limited his presence. He made himself scarce, speaking only when necessary. As a result, his words carried weight because they were rare. His presence became a privilege rather than an expectation. People admired him even more because he didn't seek their attention. How to apply this to your life? Don't make yourself too available. When people see you too often, they take you for granted. Be selective with your time. The more exclusive your attention, the more valuable it becomes. Create the perception of demand. When others see that you're wanted by many, they will naturally seek your approval. Never underestimate the power of being hard to reach. It increases your worth without you saying a word. Principle 3, the law of reciprocity. Why people feel compelled to give back. One of the most powerful psychological triggers is the principle of reciprocity. When someone receives value, they feel obligated to return it. How Seneca used reciprocity to gain influence. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, advised some of the most powerful men in Rome. But how did he earn their loyalty? He didn't demand it. Instead, he provided value first, offering wisdom, solutions, and guidance. By doing so, he created a sense of indebtedness. The more he helped others, the more they felt compelled to support him in return. How to apply this to your life? Lead with value, offer insight, assistance, or opportunities without expecting immediate rewards. Make others feel they owe you. When you provide something meaningful, people will instinctively want to return the favor. Use reciprocity to build powerful alliances. The strongest men surround themselves with people who feel compelled to contribute to their success. When you position yourself as a source of value, people will seek you out instead of overlooking you. How to control any social situation with influence. Understanding influence is one thing, using it effectively is another. If you want to shift from being ignored to being respected in any setting, follow these 5 steps. 5 steps to command. Instant respect 1. Enter with confidence. Your presence is felt before you even speak. Walk tall and move with certainty. 2. Control your speech. Speaking too quickly signals nervousness. A calm, steady pace commands authority. 3. Use silence strategically. The most powerful speakers in history knew that pauses create impact. 4. Maintain unbroken eye contact. Looking away first weakens your influence. Hold your ground. 5. Ask thought-provoking questions. Instead of forcing opinions, guide conversations in a way that makes others see you as insightful and wise. Master these steps, and people will naturally pay attention when you speak. Read the 3 unbreakable rules for a life of influencing. As we close this masterclass, remember these 3 rules to ensure that you are never ignored again. Rule 1. Build, don't beg. Stop chasing attention. Instead, focus on building a life so compelling that people feel drawn to you. Throughout history, the men who commanded respect, whether emperors or modern billionaires, put their mission first. The world followed them because they had something valuable to offer. Do the same, and people will come to you instead of you having to seek them out. Rule 2. Protect your time and energy. High-value men are highly selective about who they engage with. They never waste time on people who don't respect them. From now on, Cut out those who drain your energy. Stop seeking validation from those who don't recognize your worth. Invest only in relationships that bring genuine value to your life. The moment you become more discerning with your attention, people will start valuing it more. Rule 3. Never stop expanding. A powerful man never remains stagnant. The second you stop improving, you begin to fade into irrelevance. To maintain your influence, keep learning. Read books that challenge your thinking. Surround yourself with winners. Your circle determines your future. Take calculated risks. Growth only happens outside of comfort zones. This is how you transform from being just another man to becoming someone unforgettable. Final thought, the choice that defines your future. Right now, you have a decision to make. You can either continue chasing people, seeking validation, and wondering why you're overlooked, or step into your power, become the man who is respected and pursued, and build a life so valuable that no one dares to ignore you. The choice is yours. If you found value in this masterclass, take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know, what was your biggest takeaway? Which principle will you apply first? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, men of power don't chase, they attract. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay sharp, and keep building the life you were meant to live.